Do you have any good recommendations for integrating all of the stuff that we're learning in like a pragmatic sense, like a good way to practice them?
Yeah, like just like kind of any of the GMI topics overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the best kind of thing that you can do, you know, outside of obviously practicing with the metronome and like getting everything down to muscle memory and getting everything feeling really good, and you know the fundamentals and the techniques and everything there. What I used to do a lot, and I still do to this day, like learning any scales or just practicing my scales, is I'll just pick like old records that I really like, and if I know like an old Beatles song like "Hey Jude" is an F, then I might just run all of my scale forms playing over "Hey Jude," and it kind of gives you a new way of practicing, because you're not practicing like locking in with a metronome. Now you're locking in with the drummer, with the bass player, with the vocalist, with the keyboard, like the whole band is kind of playing, and you kind of adjust, you know, I'll adjust kind of everything to that song. So like my tone, if it's a rock song, I'm going to put on some overdrive and kind of try to nail my dynamics to match that of the song. And that'll kind of also give you a way of kind of seeing how things work, you know, in more of like a real world musical situation. Because the best way, I mean, I always kind of think back to when I was learning like the pentatonic scale or something for the first time, and like, you know, you put on a record and you're like, how are all these people playing these crazy fancy licks? Like, what's going on? Why can't I shred yet? And the only reason everyone is so good at the pentatonic scale is because we would sit for hours just going, you know, we would just be playing pentatonics all day. And now we hear a song play pentatonic licks. So same kind of phenomenon happens with practicing the major scale over a song. Like if I'm just listening to whatever, it does, even if it's a Cher song or something, great, like, you know, the more I'm playing, it'll kind of start to sound less scalar. Like I might try to look for, you know, little melodies or little pockets or little areas within the major scale shape. Like for example, right, if we go back to the pentatonic scale, something that we're all probably pretty familiar with, like we know the whole scale is a shape, right? But we kind of have little pockets of little areas where we really like to play. Like maybe we go up into that second position, and sometimes you can stay up there for the whole time you're soloing or something. So same thing with the major scale, right? Maybe I find that I really like that little area right here. You know, and kind of finding little pockets that feel more natural and feel right under your fingers. And then, you know, the whole kind of thing with playing along with the record is it's gonna feel like you're playing with this, like with the music or with the song. So it's always really important for me, if I'm learning a new scale or learning a new concept or a new chord shape or anything, that I maybe try immediately applying it into a song once it's like under my fingers, so then I can really hear, you know, wow, this is how I could use my triads in like a Temptation song. I always practice my triads with Temptation songs, because all the guitar parts are like, you know, like just one or two triads over